Thank you. You may be seated. Good afternoon. So glad to be here. Just going to sit down here. We're going to talk a little bit. My name's John. I'm your friend. On the count of 3, give me your name. 1, 2, 3. Nice to meet you. Now we're buddies. Margaret and I have been married for 49 years. We have 2 children. We have 5 grandchildren. Grandchildren are God's gift to you for not killing your children. How many of you are grandparents? And you see the people raise their hand. They know something the rest of you do not know. When you hold that first grandchild in your arm, you look at that baby, and no one has to tell you. You just say, "This is the most beautiful, smartest baby ever born." Then every grandparent worldwide asks this question. They look at that grandchild, they just look at that baby, and they ask, "Why did intelligence skip a generation?" That's a fact. I was telling that story at a large convention, and I forgot that my son Joel was in the audience. So I went back to the green room after I was done, and he was waiting. He was waiting for me. And I said, "Joel, honey, when I was talking about intelligence, skipping a generation, I was just having fun. I was just kidding." "Oh," he said, "Dad," he said, it's good. It's all good. In fact, he said, "I think you're right." He said, I think you're right. I said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I think you're right." He said, just last week, Grandpa and I had that very same conversation.
Sorry.
Well, congratulations. You're an incredible organization. Keller Williams, I so admire you. When we bought our last home in Florida, we had Keller Williams help us. We just called Keller Williams. It's, why go to anyone else when you found the best? And congratulations to Gary. What an honor to be the #1 entrepreneur in real estate. I mean, that says something. And you're in the Hall of Fame of equipping people and training people. I mean, that's my heart, is equipping, training people. John Davis, one of the top 30 CEOs. You just have an incredible organization, and it's an honor for me to be here with you today and to share with you. And then Diana Kay, listen to me, my friends, I am with leaders around the world, and I just put her right at the top. I mean, in fact, I am the president of Diana's fan club. So if you want, to join, come to me. It's just a $2,000 dues to get in the club. Now, I just love her and love being with her and have had many experiences. I just admire her as a person, admire her so much as a leader, and I admire you for being here. And so thank you for coming in. And because I don't have a lot of time, if it's okay, can I just start? Can we get to work? Can we? You see, if you and I were sitting at a table and we were having lunch right now, and you looked at me and you said, "John, what's the most important thing we've got a few minutes. What's the most important thing that you could share with me?" What I would talk to you about is what we're going to now deal with, and that is I would look across the table to you and I would say to you that if you really want to be very successful in life, period, in Keller Williams, of course, in family, of course, community, of course, if you really want to do well, then I would share with every one of you that you want to live an intentional life. And I want to talk to you about intentional living, because I do believe that it's the greatest way to improve your life. And if somebody walked to me and said, "John, I'd like to turn my life around, I'd like to improve my life, I'd like to get better in my business, I'd like to be better in my family, I'd like to be a better parent," I mean, just whatever you're wanting to improve, if you came to me and said, "How do I improve it in the best way, the quickest way possible?" I would look at you and I'd say, "Well, it's without any question, you have to now become intentional with your life." Because I would tell you that the vast majority of people are not intentional. Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And what I want to talk to you about is how to be intentional, how to be deliberate in your life, consistent in your life, how to make an intentional choice in your life that is going to give you the highest maximum return that is possible for any one of you. And maybe the best way to start this discussion is to give you a visual, okay? So if you just kind of look at me for a moment. By the way, you look real good. You look real good. You just look at your neighbor and just say to them, I hope you learned something right now. Would you tell them? I hope.
That seems very self-serving.
In fact, look right at them. Now that you've just kind of said that statement, look right back at them and say, why do you think I brought you here? This is not Disneyland. Come on, talk to him. Okay. So watch me quickly. This visual, Stanford research says 89% of what you and I know, we learn visually. And so we're going to do a visual that you just won't forget, okay? So this is the visual right here. This is what you do when you have nothing to say. Here we go. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything. Everything in your life, everything in my life that's worthwhile, it's all uphill. If you have a good relationship, it's uphill. You have to work at it. If you've got a business, it's all uphill. You have to work at it. Whatever you do, if you have a dream in your life, guess what? It's all uphill. It's all uphill. And what I know about uphill is this. No one accidentally goes uphill. No one. It just doesn't happen. You've never heard a successful person being interviewed, and when they interviewed that individual, they said, no, how did you be successful? How did you get on the top of the mountain of your profession? How did you get to the top? You never hear a person being interviewed. How did you get to the top? And they ask that person a question, and then they look at them, and that person's been asked that question, they just go. Drugs will do that to you. You've never heard a lecture on accidental achievement. No one's ever said, let me tell you, I was in Keller Williams, and to be honest with you, we've been just extremely successful, and I have no clue. Because, we certainly haven't worked. It's just, you know what, you just kind of show up. And it just happens. Everything worthwhile. Everything. It's uphill. And here's the problem. We have uphill hopes. And have downhill habits. And that's the problem. It's impossible, not improbable, it's impossible to go uphill with downhill habits. You see, a downhill habit is something like no effort, no intentionality, no discipline. I mean, I could give you a list of 25 things. They're all downhill. And you see, downhill's easy. You don't have to make effort. You don't have to take any energy. In fact, if seeing things in your company just seem to be running along really good and happening, you're already in trouble. One of the first things we need to do is do an autopsy on our success. What got you there won't keep you there. It's all uphill. Everything. And so when I think of that, and I realize that it's intentionality that gets you uphill, that's why I say that if you could just live an intentional life, I will promise you, not only in Keller Williams, but in every area of your life, if you're just intentional, everything begins to move the way it should move. And certainly I don't have time to cover all the areas, but if you'll allow me, let me just give you 2 or 3 in the time that I have that'll kind of get you jump-started, because you're getting the idea. Everything worthwhile. Do you all get that? Well, let's make sure you got that for a moment. I know you're taking notes. You're just incredible. You're all down there and you're just writing really good. In fact, some of you got your heads down. I think, shoot, I can take my clothes off and they wouldn't see me. Don't worry. It won't happen. Okay. But I want to make sure you got this. See, because when you walk out of here, I want to. So let's all come on. Let's get those hands in the air. Get those arms up there. And tell me, everything worthwhile is what? Uphill. It's all uphill. It's all uphill. Now the problem is, keep your hands up. Thank you. Follow the leader. But the problem is, we got these uphill dreams and hopes, but what do we have? Down here. Yeah, get that other arm, get that down there. Yes. I look like an old man losing his balance. I know exactly what I look like right now. And so look at your neighbor. Now watch this. This takes coordination. So watch me. Follow me. Look at your neighbor and say to them, "You need to be doing this and not this." Oh, isn't that good? Oh, you did it. You just did that. So you are so bossy. Let's do it one more time. You need to be doing this and not. Oh, that is. You need to go right back to your office. Walk right in and say, "This, not this." So let me give you, in the time that I have, let me give you, I don't know, 2, 3. I'm not going to tell you how many I have. That's a mistake all communicators make. Never tell somebody how many points you have. Because then they expect you to give them all the points. And the melancholy is, if you don't, they have to go see a therapist. We didn't get all the points. So I'm just going to give you 2 or 3. You have no idea how many I have here. More than you're going to get. But I'll give you the good ones. And besides, I don't have to give you all, because you're Keller Williams. You're smart. I mean, honest to God, this could be a 2-day conference with most companies. You're above average. I love it. Got right out in front. Way above. Way above. Not that good, but you're good. No, you are good. Just look at your neighbor and say, we're way above average. We're way above average. Way. I like it. We're way. There's a way to say that. I mean, you can be boring and say, you know what, we're way above average. Or you can say, we're way above average. All right, you ready? Let's do that with motions. We're way above average. Isn't that good, huh? I want you to be, number 1, intentional in the area of your growth. And the reason I want you to be intentional in the area of your growth is that growth is not an automatic process. You do not grow automatically. You don't grow personally automatically. You don't grow in your business automatically. There's no such thing as you open a business and it just grows. There's no such thing about you breathing air and you grow. It has to be intentional. I discovered that in my 20s when I sat down with a man who asked me if I had a plan for growth, of which I did not. I didn't know I was even supposed to have a plan. Nobody told me I was supposed to have a plan for growth. I mean, I graduated from college and working on a second degree, but nobody ever said I had to have a plan for growth. And he looked at me and said, John, growth's not automatic. And it's not. It's not automatic for you, it's not automatic for me. It doesn't just, quote, happen. I went to all my friends, I asked them if they had a plan for growth. But I asked that question 300 times over the next few months, and I had nobody that had a plan for growth. I mean, I had no friends. I had no friends. No one said, yeah, I have a plan for growth. You want to see it? Isn't it amazing? Growth, as he said, the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to get better is that you're growing today. That's the only guarantee. I love people that I talk to about their future. They say, well, I'm really hoping for some good things to happen. Hope's not a strategy. The only guarantee that tomorrow's going to get better is you're growing right now. You're either every day preparing or repairing. If you're growing, you're preparing, and if you're not growing, you're repairing. You're fixing yesterday because of what you didn't do the day before. So growth it's not automatic. We've got to be purposeful in our growth. Be intentional. Now, I wasn't privileged like you to be in an organization like Keller Williams. When I was in my 20s, I was in an organization that wasn't growing at all. It didn't have good leadership like you have. I didn't have all this beautiful environment around me that would allow me to grow my business and grow myself. In fact, the organization that I belonged to was pathetic. Their idea of progress was moving backwards slowly. And so I sat down as a 26-year-old kid and said, okay, growth's not automatic, and I've got to create a growth environment. And so I began to write down what I thought a growth environment was, and I'm going to give it to you right now because I wrote this down at 26. I'm 71. And I promise you, I haven't changed one thing. I have found that this just really, really works. And so I want to just share with you what that growth environment looks like real quick. You see, my growth environment, your growth environment means this. Number one, that other people are ahead of me. If you're in a growth environment, you have people around you that are bigger, better, faster, smarter, and more successful than you. And you want to continually keep yourself in an environment where you're not the first, not number one. In fact, if you are first in your class, you're in the wrong class. You need to get out of that class as quickly as possible and go find somebody that just is way beyond you, because the only stretching you will ever do is around people that are bigger than, better than you. So you want to constantly have somebody that can teach you something that you don't know. And all of my life, I've purposely, I've done this practice for 40 years. I have what I call learning lunches. For 40 years, every month I have a lunch with somebody bigger, better, faster, smarter than I am. And I don't even eat lunch. I just ask questions. I buy their lunch, and I just have a list of questions. And I ask them these questions because I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to grow from them. So a growth environment is where people are ahead of you. You never want to be first. If you're first, get out of that class and go somewhere else. And you just, okay, I was speaking for an organization that was into major fitness and exercise. And so they were going to have their 6 o'clock meeting, exercise meeting the next day. And I said, well, can I join you? And I mean, you got to understand, these people, they're just hunks. And I'm the Pillsbury Doughboy. And said, can I join you? I said, we'd love to have you join us. And I came down at 6 o'clock, exercised with them. They were carrying water to me. One had an oxygen mask just in case, you know what I'm saying? They had, people CPR, they got all the stuff all around me, and I'm in there and I'm just doing my best. Can I keep up with them? No. Am I as good as them? No. Am I as fit as them? No. You see, in that class there were 146 people, and I was number 146. And I loved it. And I got better because of it. And then I taught them leadership all day. And I said, I just went to a class where I was number 146. I was at the bottom of the class. And that's how you grow. And then I looked up and said, now I'm going to teach you leadership. I'm at the top of this class. And I'm going to see now if you have a hunger to lead as much as you have a hunger to look fit. My name's John, I'm your friend. Line up. They followed the fat boy the rest of the day. If you get in a growth environment, you got to always put yourself in a position where people be bigger, better, faster. Secondly, a growth environment is a place where I'm continually challenged. In other words, every day I get up, I've got a mountain to climb. It's not like I get up and everything is on automatic and everything is easy and everything is plateaued. No. I get up every day and I look at a mountain, and that has challenges. And I'm going to have to really work at it, and I'm going to have to give 100%, and I'm not going to be able to loaf, and I certainly can't coast, and I've got to be in the moment. I've got a mountain in front of me. There's a challenge out there for me. It's a sad day for any person in their life when they're not challenged. So when people, they talk about their business, say, well, I've got some challenges in my business. Well, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That means that you've got opportunity, because every challenge has opportunity within it. It means that you're still alive. So don't regret. Don't try to remove all the challenges. So I said, well, I just would like to be, I like life to be easier. Die. Just die. A growth environment is a place where my focus is forward. It's a forward focus. I'm thinking about being in the moment, and I'm thinking about tomorrow. And I'm not constantly turning around, and I'm not constantly looking back for the good old days. Do you know people that it's just like, all they talk about is the good old days. My gosh, I made a terrible mistake 2 summers ago. Good night, don't do this. Don't do this. I went to my 50th high school reunion. I walked into this huge auditorium with my wife Margaret, and I stopped dead in my track. I took 3 steps, I just stopped. And I said, look at these people. They're all old. And she started laughing, and she said, you graduated with it. So since I was there, I thought, well, I'll go around and say hi to my old high school classmates. So I went around and spent the next 3 hours talking to them. There were so many surprises. I don't have time to talk to you, but one of the huge surprises was this. One of the huge surprises, I had no idea how many kids graduated with me that became pharmacists. Dozens of pharmacists. And I know they're pharmacists because all evening everybody wanted to talk about medicine. And I started to feel left out. I thought, oh my God. We finished up, we were going back to the car, So Margaret, I don't know whether to go back to the hotel or to the hospital. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, all my friends are dying and talking about dying, and they're on medicine, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but something's got to be wrong. Let's go to the ER, they just need to check me out, because I think I've been with my old classmates, and I think I'm going to be I think we're dying. That's when I just made a decision. It's been so helpful. I just don't hang around with old people anymore. I just don't. They just don't. A growth environment is a place where the atmosphere is affirming, where the people are encouraging one another. One of the things I always have loved about Keller Williams is the affirming environment that you have in your organization. A growth environment is a place where I'm out of my comfort zone. I can't cruise. A growth environment is a place where I wake up excited. Oh, yes. In fact, can I just ask you a question there? If you don't wake up excited, why wake up? I mean, don't you run into people all day long? I just do all the time. I look at them and say, you need to go back to bed. You just, yeah. Do us all a favor. Go to bed. Sleep a week or two. I mean, I love what I do. The people ask me all the time, say, when are you going to retire? Well, I'm not going to retire. I don't want to retire. Well, you're old enough to retire? Yes. Do you have enough money? Yes. I've sold 30 million books. Do the math. I'm going to make it. Well, then why don't you retire? Because I love what I do. And somebody told me the other day that retirement is loving what you do when you want to do it. I said, well, then I'm retired. I'm loving what I do right now. I mean, I can add value to you. I can pour into your life. I can hopefully say something that will help you with your life and your family, your business, and your community. I love it. I mean, a growth environment is a place where you wake up excited. And again, who wants to be around people that aren't passionate and excited about it? When I run a person that's not, I run people all the time who'll say, John, could you give me a little advice? I'm a little tired. I'm really contemplating quitting. What do you think? Oh, I said, oh, it's no problem. Quit. They said, well, that was rather quick. Yeah. You already have quit. You just haven't made it official yet. Quit. Quit. Life's too short to be doing something you don't like to do. You shouldn't have to be motivated, talked into this stuff. You ought to be motivated, talking to yourself. You ought to love what you do and love the people that you do it with. That's a growth environment is a place where failure is not your enemy. So when you fail, you get back up. Failure's not final. When you fail, the question is not, did you fail? The question is, what did you learn from that failure? If you learn from your failure, that's why, in fact, I wrote a book called Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. And the whole issue is that it's in our failures that some of the best days of our life would be in our failures. I wrote a book several years ago called Failing Forward. Yeah, I can see that. The publisher didn't like that title either. They didn't like the Failing Forward title, but that's what it is. It's failing forward. Because we always are failing. But fail forward. Don't fail backwards. Fail forward. I wrote that on a cruise. Margaret and I were going to go see the fjords of Norway. And right about a week before we see the fjords of Norway, I looked on the calendar. I saw it was a 2-week cruise. I said, Margaret, 2 weeks to see the fjords? Now, I'm a person of faith. I'm not trying to put that on you at all. But I said, sweetheart, God created the heavens and earth in 6 days. And we're going to see the fjords of Norway for 2 weeks. I said, let's talk about this. And so we did. We talked about it. And then we took this incredible 2-week cruise. Anybody that tells me they don't believe in compromise has never been married for a long time. Trust me. But we did a deal. The deal was very simple. We would see the fjords of Norway, and I could write a book on the trip so that I could at least get, it's 2 weeks. So we had this suite up at the front of our ship, all glass. We're really a great place. Had a table there, and I write on a legal pad with a 4-color pen, and so I write it all out just by hand. It's just as Neanderthal as you can get, and it works. And so we're going in these little inlets, and I'd say, oh, hey, Mark, that's a fjord. another fjord. You know what, baby? That fjord looks just like that. 2 weeks are over. Book's done. Failing forward. Book's done. Now you gotta understand, when I finish a book, I've got about 250 legal pages with rubber bands around them. That's it. I'm sorry, I'm disappointing you, but that's the way it works. And she was carrying it off the ship, and we're about halfway up the ship. She turned around and said, "I love the book, John. I love the book. The people are going to love this book." I said, "Thank you, baby." So what'd you like about it? Oh, she said, "You're so honest. You talk about your failures, and you're just open." And said, "Well, I didn't do that well." And she said, "The reader's going to read this, and on every page you've got a failure. They're going to just," I took her and said, "Wow, and John messed that up, and he didn't hit that one right. Wow." She said, "You're just going to identify with your readers." I said, "Well, thank you very much." She said, "They're really," she said, "there's only one problem with the book." I said, "Well, what is it?" She said, you did get all your failures in it." She said, "I see a series coming on. Failure 101, 201, 301, 401. And we just laughed about that. And then, of course, a few years later, I wrote, "Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn." It's in the series of failures. Look at your neighbor and just say to them, "You're going to mess up." Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're good there.
Look right back at him and say, "You already have. You're sitting beside me." Now, let me give you a couple other points that I'm not going to talk about, but I'll just give you the points, okay? It'll make you feel better. Okay, in fact, you can fill in the blanks. That's the best kind of teaching. You get the point, then you fill in the blanks. Oh, that was really good. But I would encourage you to not only be intentional in your personal growth, I would encourage you to be intentional in your attitude. Because attitudes don't stay good automatically. And we need to, at times, have attitude adjustments. Isn't that true? Now, I know that isn't true for you, because you're just awesome. But how many of you, you're sitting beside somebody? No, don't. Some of you are looking at them. Don't look at them. Don't do that. Some of you are just right now. You just turned right around and said, "Thank God he finally got on something." Yes, don't do that. But you know what I'm talking about, don't you? And by the way, the only time that attitude matters is during difficulties and adversity. Attitude doesn't matter during good times. When you have good times, everybody's got a good attitude. The only time it really shows up to make a difference is during adversity and difficulties. And what I found is that people that really succeed well, they're highly intentional during those times of adversity to just truly think right and have an incredible attitude in what they do and who they are. I would say, number 3, be intentional in your priorities. And I don't know why this is number 3, because I'm so passionate about this. It almost would, well, it can't be number 1. Growth is number 1. But it should be number 2. So in your notes, just take the 3 and put it, take a little thing, put the 2, and then take the 2. Because activity is not necessarily accomplishment. I think I have enough time. Wow. I'm just debating here. I think I have enough time because you are very quick and smart. I wouldn't attempt this with other groups. Okay, let's start there. But I think I can pull this off with you. Let's try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to teach you what. Honestly, I can teach for 2 hours on this. Okay, and I've got 9 minutes and 45 seconds. But I think it's worth it for you, because I think if I can deposit this and then you can work on it. I want to teach you the rule of 5 real quickly. The rule of 5 is huge. This will change your life, okay? I want you to be intentional, and rule of 5 is all about priorities, okay? I want you to be intentional in your priorities, and this will just change your life, okay? So as we're getting right, just look at your neighbor and say, this will change your life. Go ahead and tell them. This will change your life. And look back at him and say, and God knows it needs to be changed, okay? Okay, let me illustrate the rule of 5 for you. It's very simple. If I have a tree in my backyard and I want to cut it down, and I have an axe, if I go out and pick up the axe and I go to that tree and I take that axe and I swing 5 times at that tree, put the axe down. Next day, go back out, pick up the same axe, go to the very same tree. 5 times, put the axe down. Next day, go back out in the backyard, go to the very same tree with the same axe, 5 times. Just 5 times. Not 50 times, not 500. Just every day. If every day I go out, pick up the axe, go to the same tree, and if every day I just swing 5 times at that tree, let me ask you a question. If I do that every day, what is eventually going to happen to that tree? Eventually that tree will fall down. That's a fact. Everybody knows that. If it's a small tree, it may take, maybe it'll fall in 2 or 3 months. If it's a big tree, maybe it'll be 5 years. That's not the time isn't the length. The only thing that's the issue is that you went out and you took an axe and you went to that tree and you swung at that 5 times and the tree fell. The rule of 5 basically says that if we know what we want to accomplish in this setting, we want to knock down the tree. Okay, so we've got a very clear goal. This is what I want to accomplish. If we know what we want to accomplish, I want to cut the tree down. And if I have the right tools, if I have the right tools, what did I take to that tree? An axe. I didn't go to that tree with a baseball bat. See, a lot of people, they work hard and I should have results because I work hard, and they don't have the right tools. It's one of the reasons I love Keller Williams. You have such a great training program. And that's why I love Bold, Diane. I love Bold because you're putting the right tools in the hands. So you're putting an axe in their hand and not a baseball bat. And the rule of 5 says, so if I know what I want and I have the right tools and I stay focused, you got to stay focused. You can't get bored in this. The deal is I'm going to cut down that tree with the tool, this axe. And when I say that, what happens is some people, they'll start doing something and they get bored. And so they go out and they have an axe, but instead of going to the same tree, they go to a different tree. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they go down a tree the next day. They're never going to cut a tree down. They're just going to have a whole bunch of scarred trees. I see it happen all the time. The rule of 5 says, no. This is all about priorities. You got to know what you want. You got to have the right tool. So you got to figure this out. For example, in Keller Williams, there's 5 things that you got to do every day to be successful in this business. I promise you there is. There's 5 things. People ask me, say, John, how did you write so many books? I got a rule of 5. Every day. Every day I read, think, file, ask questions, write. Every day. 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 Is that just John? What do you mean by every day? What I mean by every day is every day. I didn't say all day. I said every day. Consistency compounds. If your priorities are right, you don't have to do them all day, but you do have to do them every day. And when you do them every day, they'll give you a compounding return that will begin to blow your mind as the years pass. Trust me, my name is John. I'm your friend. So you say, John, you mean every day you read, think, file, ask questions, right? That's what I mean. What do you do on Christmas? Every Christmas I read, think, file, ask questions, right? What do you do on your birthday? Every birthday I read, think, file, ask questions, right? What do you do on vacation? Every day on vacation I read, think, file, ask questions, right? What part of this do you not get? Every day. Not all day, every day. I've already done that today. I never miss a day. And you see, when you do it every day, that consistency. Now remember this. It's consistency with priorities. It's doing the right thing every day. It's not consistency without priorities. You gotta know what you gotta do, and then you gotta do it every day. And Kelly, trust me on this. If you did those essentials every day, you would get a huge return. And so when people talk about, I've read, 80 or 90 books, and they're basically saying, how do you do that? Let me share my secret. I take a pen and a piece of paper. Every day. 30 million books later, 90 books written. There's nothing amazing about what I do except that I practice every day. And if you will take the essentials, just the essentials, and you'll just do those every day, and you'll be intentional, and you'll figure out what those 5 things are, and every day you do them, and every day you have your team do them. If you'll just do that, it begins to be absolutely awesome. What can happen? So you become intentional. You become intentional in your personal development growth, in your attitude, in your priorities, and you become intentional. You become intentional in your significance. Success is all about you. It's all about me. Significance is all about others. And when you take your success and turn it into significance, you will be an incredibly fulfilled person. Trust me on this. I know a lot of successful people that are not fulfilled, but I've never known a significant person that wasn't fulfilled. Because we were created to add value to others. We were. And I just want to challenge you to look beyond yourself, and you have to, again, and what I love about Keller Williams is how you constantly have projects that help other people and make a difference, and you look beyond yourself, and I congratulate you on that. When I was in my 20s, I received for a Christmas gift one year from my assistant. She gave me a book, and the title of the book was The Greatest Story Ever Told. I thought, oh my gosh, this must be amazing, the greatest story ever told. I love to read. And I opened up the book to okay, I've got to get in. It's the greatest story ever told. When I opened up the book, I realized, I looked immediately, and all the pages were blank. All of them. And I looked at it and said, greatest story ever told? There's no story. Oh, she smiled and said, turn to the front. And on the front back cover, she'd written these words, John, your life is before you. You fill these pages with your dreams, your hopes, matters of your heart, Start today and write the greatest story ever told. And I took that book home, and the next morning I went on page 1 and I started writing. And over the next 3 months, the first writing I ever done was not a book that sold to any of you. The first writing I ever did was on those blank pages of writing my dreams and my hopes. And I wrote my story. And I was changed forever. Because my stories began with, I want to make a difference. I didn't know how I was going to make a difference. I was just a kid. I didn't know about my giftedness yet. I didn't know about my opportunities. I just knew that I wanted to make a difference. And I knew that I wanted to make a difference in helping and adding value to people. And so the rest of the story is still being unfolded. But what I want you to know is I know you, and you want to make a difference too. You want to make a difference not only in your business and for the people that work in your offices, but you want to make a difference in your community. You want to make a difference in your family. You want to make a difference. You want to mark people in a positive way. And the reason I came here today is because I knew that if I talked to you about intentional living, you would take this simple little teaching and you would begin to look at your life and you would begin to say, I'm no longer going to accept my life. I'm going to start leading my life. And I want to encourage you, start today and you write the greatest story ever told. Thank you very much.